Imagine feeling empty in life. I mean, at sometimes you probably feel happy because life shouldn't be so much of a hell, especially in the West, right? And then you're asking yourself, what's my purpose and calling in life? Maybe you don't even believe in God, and it's still an important question to think about, because this feeling of emptiness won't go away if you won't find the answer. And in this short, long video, I will share a bit of my story so you can recognize what might be your calling in life. So, it's Marko, 30 years old now, living with my wife together for 5 years here in beautiful Rotterdam, Netherlands. And I started recording videos 6 years ago. I had some religious topics that I was started to speak about all of a sudden, and I didn't understand why. Like, why did religion all of a sudden started to interest me? Let me bring you back to me growing up in the Netherlands, being this little boy, and then people said, "Oh, look at this beautiful bird." And then people said, "Well, your roots are from Bosnia, so you're Muslim?" Question mark. And I was like, no, I had no religious upbringing. My mom and dad let me be a free kid. They didn't force religion on me. My mom's Catholic, my dad's kind of an agnostic person. Although I first thought he was more atheist, but lots of things changed in his life. I mean, as you start to experience things in life, you cannot ignore the fact that there's some current going through your life, and that sometimes you're off that current, and sometimes you just connect the dots, and then you think, are all these dots that I'm connecting? I mean, there are tons of dots maybe in your life that you're like, oh, I would describe them as coincidences. But it was neighbor. Buurvrouw is neighbor in Dutch, by the way. Well, neighbor, you have, it's a feminine. Buurvrouw is neighbor wife. Buurman is neighbor man. It's a fun thing to share. But connecting all these dots, as I was a kid and I was telling people that my roots are Bosnian, they kept asking me the question, are you Muslim? So I got lots of Muslim friends then at the school, and one of my best friends today is still a Muslim, and it inspired me to convert to Islam. Long story, I will not tell you the details in this story. I had no identity. I mean, I'm Bosnian. People keep asking me, are you a Muslim guy? I thought, well, I have these nice Muslim friends, and they have such a strong faith and identity, and I was without identity. I didn't know who I am, what I was, and of course you're more than your religious label, but that's for another video discussion maybe. So at 17 years I did my Shahada, which is like saying there's no God but Allah, and Muhammad in brackets is his final prophet, which I don't believe now, so let's be sure about that. Jesus is my savior and my God. And yesterday I was on doing this Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I just started with it, man. These guys were really killing me, sitting on my chest. I just couldn't even breathe that much. This one guy putting his knee on my belly and then doing some crazy chokes, and I was like, man, I'm gonna train. I'm 30 years old now, just started doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I'm gonna train until I can beat one of these guys, at least in training, and then I will see further. So after the training, I got into this locker room, and there was this great Afghan guy which had this Arab tattoo here. I asked him, what does it say? He's like, well, it's not Arab. I mean, this is Persian. And the other one that I have here, another one I have here, is in Pashtun. I was like, yeah, I know that. I have an Afghan friend. He's Persian, and then another one, he's Pashtun. And these are like different languages, but it looks like Arab language. So, so then he told me, but then he was looking at me. He was like, wait, are you? I thought you were Dutch, because I'm not the most common. I don't have the most common Bosnian look for some people. Some people recognize Balkan people. I mean, there are lots of white and blondish people in the Balkans. And you know what his second question was after I told him, after he asked me, oh, you aren't Dutch? I told him I'm Bosnian. He asked me, are you Muslim? And I failed to answer him in a correct way, at least in a way that I wanted, which was, no, I'm Christian. Are you Christian? Think about it. Being asked your whole life, whenever you're speaking about your roots, oh, then you must be Muslim. And then needing to say no. And then explaining there are about 50%, maybe now 55% Muslims in Bosnia, and I'm not one of them. Then are you a Bosnian Serb? No. Then are you Bosnian Croat? No. Are you Catholic? Are you Orthodox? No. And now I can say I'm proudly Christian. So this is just one annoying thing that bothered me when it comes to what my calling is, which I will tell you in a second. You know, I told you about me starting to make videos about religion. My parents were against it. I mean, they fled the war in Bosnia, and now their son is speaking about religious, political topics that led to a war in their home country. They didn't want me to do it, and I like my whole being was drawing me to do this. I wanted it to stop. I didn't want to speak about Christianity, Islam, atheism, but I do have this, and my dad always called me, oh, there we have this guy, like speaking about, oh, my son is a real philosophical guy. My dad was always like, oh, when I started talking, he was like, oh, look at him philosophizing again. So I got demotivated about doing philosophy because I thought it was an annoying thing, because my dad was like, ah, you're brabbling on about philosophy again. But it really interests me, and as you're doing lots of philosophy, you get to religion. I mean, how couldn't you, right? Even the great philosophers had some answers on their beliefs or disbeliefs in God, morality, whatsoever. So the thing that annoyed me the most, that bothered me the most, that happened to me in life the most, with this personal story with the question, oh, you're Bosnian, so you must be Muslim. It got to me making videos about religion. I even have 10 commandments for Christian creators. You can check the link below. It's a free ebook, and I want to share you. You can freely receive it. And it's my calling to speak about identity. What are you? Who are you? What determines your worth as a human being? And it's not culture, let me tell you this. It's not your religious label, let me tell you this, because they are Christians, they are worse than the worst whatever person. So having a label doesn't guarantee you being a great person. But it's starting to rain now, and just think about what bothered you in your life the most, because in that story might be your calling.